On today's episode of Time About the Movies, how do you combat the biggest movie, not only the summer, but in a long, long time with the Avengers? Tim Burton will try to do it with Dark Shadows, and needless to say, I don't think he's going to succeed with that. But we also have Eva Mendes starring in Girl in Progress. Only two films to look at today on May 11, 2012. This is Time About the Movies.
Experience it in IMAX May 11th.
Before we do anything else,
I made you love me.
With what a spell.
With this.
Good Lord! Great googly moogie!
goddamn, welcome to Time About the Movies, everybody. I apologize for that. Today we are taking a look at the two films of May 11th, 2012, and that is our first movie, and that is Dark Shadows. This is, of course, based off of the Gothic TV soap opera of the same name, and it features Johnny Depp starring as Barnabas Collins, who is set free from his over 200-year curse and returns to his ancestral home where dysfunctional descendants are in need of his protection in the year 1972, excuse me. But, yeah, basically a fish-out-of-water story, except featuring Johnny Depp as a vampire, kind of. And you also have a cast that also includes Michelle Pfeiffer. You see Ava Green in there, Jackie Earle Haley, Johnny Lee Miller, Chloe Grace Moretz, Helena Bonham Carter. And it's Tim Burton doing what Tim Burton usually does very well. I'll give it credit. There were times when this movie did make me legitimately laugh. I think, honestly, the best jokes are in that commercial I showed you there. The humor in here is really good. There's a lot of good, funny stuff in this movie. Most of it you already saw in the trailer. The visual look of the film is very nice. This nice gothic look to the film. Tim Burton clearly is trying to do something here, and you can tell Johnny Depp wanted to put as much effort into it as he can because he was a fan of the television series of the same name. The movie almost gets there, but the rest of the characters and the plot really make no sense whatsoever. And that really is the biggest fault of the movie, is that the story, it's a fish-out-of-water story. We've kind of seen this already done before. Hell, Tim Burton and Johnny Depp were already in a story similar to this with Edward Scissorhands. It's almost the same concept, except Edward Scissorhands is somebody who's been who was born in the 1700s and is now, coming into modern day 1972. It's not that type of movie, but it's almost close. And you feel like Tim Burton has done better movies than this, man. This is a movie where maybe 10 years ago, if this was coming after, his flop with Planet of the Apes, I think this movie would have probably been a little bit more appreciative and maybe would have had that cult following that a lot of his movies did, like Batman, Beetlejuice, Corpse Bride, Nightmare Before Christmas. Not even cult following, but Nightmare Before Christmas and Corpse Bride have cult followings. Batman and Beetlejuice were successes when they came out. This one I feel like should have been released 10 years prior to when it came out. If it came out in 2002... maybe I could see this becoming more of a cult classic, but in 2012, we've seen so much better movies from Tim Burton with this type of a style to it. Much better films than this, and, we're going to have a much better Tim Burton movie coming out later in the year with Frankenweenie, which I think is a far superior film than this is. It's not a bad movie, it's just a film that you feel like is almost to the finish line of becoming something really good and entertaining, and if the script had been more structured, if they had better characters involved in here, maybe, just maybe, I would say this is definitely worth it. But I'll give it this. It certainly is a lot better than this writer's next movie that he'll do, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, which comes out the next month. And you would think that'd be cool, Abraham Lincoln as a vampire hunter, but not so much. We'll talk about that in late June of 2012 when we get to that point. But one last thing I should say here, Christopher Lee, this was actually his 200th film appearance. It actually marked the fifth and last time he'd worked with Burton before his death. But that's about all I can say about this. Possible good ideas to it, but bad script, not enough developed characters to make me say it's worth a watch. But anyway, that's Dark Shadows for you. So let's go ahead and lap it up with the last film, Toy Boat. Let's go ahead and wrap it up with our last movie that we have here, Eva Mendes in Girl in Progress.
Isn't that a good thing after all?
I honestly forgot this movie even existed. The only thing I know about is that it has Eva Mendes in it, and it was directed by the same person who would direct Under the Same Moon. She also did The 33 and Miracles from Heaven. I had the title for a second there, and then it just couldn't get into my head. But in it, you have a story about a 14-year-old girl played by Sierra Ramirez who's living with her busy mother, played by Eva Mendes, who ends up acting like a grown-up and going through different tasks on her personal list. And you also have Matthew Modine, Patricia Arquette, Eugenio Debrez. That's about all I know about the movie. I just think the film... I mean, I don't remember the film a whole lot in general, so I can't really say if it's any good or not. I've never seen it before, but it's interesting to see Eva Mendes in a leading role where she actually gets to act in something instead of just being like the hot piece of ass in an action movie or in a comedy in general. Not to say she's a bad actress per se, but it's just like, I mean, really, that's what people go to see the movies for, with her in them, because, you know, you get to see a beautiful woman on the screen. And I mean, this is a chance for her to really show what she can do as an actress, but like I said, I haven't seen it, so I can't really say if it's any good or not, but the reviews for it have not been solid overall, but like I said, it doesn't look that bad overall. It just looks kind of generic, honestly. The worst thing I could say about it is that it kind of looks generic, but then again, could be a good movie without even me noticing it. So, I don't know. Maybe I might check it out one day, but I'm not rushing out to check it out. So, that's Go in Progress. That's all I got for you on that one. So a relatively quick episode of Time About the Movies this week here. Not much more to say about the 2 films that came out. We'll certainly have a lot to say about the 3 films on next week's show, especially our first one here. One of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life. Universal trying to cash in on the Transformers game and saying that, hey, Transformers was a success, so we could take another toy line from Hasbro and turn it into a profitable film franchise. And, yeah. That's how we got Battleship. So, we'll see how that panned out. Spoiler alert, it didn't pan out. We have Sacha Baron Cohen trying to get some magic back with the success he had with Borat 6 years ago, with the comedy The Dictator. We'll see if that pans out. Spoiler alert, it doesn't quite work out, but at least it works better than Battleship does. And then we have the ensemble comedy based off of a self-help book. You know, He's Just Not That Into You was a big success 3 years ago. And let's do the same thing with What to Expect When You're Expecting. Surely that will be a big success. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Okay, I'm going to stop whispering now, but you get the idea. Not a very good week of movies coming up next time around, but we'll try to find some gems in this pile of shit here. I mean, we got to find that gold nugget in there somewhere at some point, but... I mean, we're going to have to dig through some nasty stuff here, but we'll try to get to it on next episode tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. With all that said, though, thank you so much for watching this. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please go ahead and do me the honors of hitting that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button. Also, don't forget to check out our playlist, and don't forget to check out the last episode we did. So, with all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.